Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for joining us today to SESIMO webinar, how can the EU harness the power of industrial automation? I'm Olga Hunchak, and I'm delighted to host this insightful discussion today. Before we proceed, let me walk you through the agenda quickly. We'll begin with the opening remarks from our Director General, Philip Geertz. Following that, we have 4 presentations from 3 industry leaders and 1 from EU policymaker. The key topics that we will cover today are the role of automation for European growth and competitiveness, strategies to fully leverage industrial automation, and some successful examples, barriers to adopting automation, emerging applications of industrial automation, as well as impacts of new digital policies, and the importance of developing a workforce ready to operate automation, as well as the necessary skill set. After the presentations, we'll have a 10-minute Q&A session where attendees will be able to pose questions. And after that, we will wrap the webinar with closing remarks. With that being said, I would like now to pass the floor to SESIMO's Director General, Philip Geertz, to kick off this webinar with opening remarks about the importance of today's automation in advanced manufacturing sector.
Thank you very much, Olga. So welcome to everybody to today's webinar on how can the EU harness the power of industrial automation, hosted by SESIMO. So over the last decade, industrial automation has emerged as a driving force in streamlining manufacturing processes and increasing growth. In Europe, this innovation has already been embraced by many industries, yet significant opportunities remain untapped. So SESIMO, representing manufacturing technologies and machine tool industries, strongly advocates for wide implementation of automation solutions across the manufacturing landscape. While automation is still evolving, its potential benefits are immense. Today, advancements in hardware, software, and controls enable machine tool industries to execute machine tasks with minimal human intervention. By automating repetitive or hazardous tasks, we not only mitigate the risk of human error, but also significantly enhance quality and efficiency. Automation leads to significant labor cost savings, reduced production time, increased safety, and improved overall productivity. Moreover, it enables predictive maintenance and enhances precision in the production process, allowing human labor to focus on more skilled and strategic tasks. Recent supply chain disruptions and labor market challenges have outlined the critical importance of automation. Nevertheless, adopting automation solutions requires considerable financial resources, skilled labor, technical infrastructure, and strong collaboration and partnerships. In particular, a significant portion of the workforce lacks the necessary training and education needed for roles in automated industries, which gets worse due to the many retirements and the reluctance of younger generations to have a career in these fields. To overcome existing barriers, we must better understand the potential of industrial automation for both industry and workers. This is why we are here today to discuss the complexities and potential of industrial automation and explore how policies, skills initiatives, and investments can accelerate the adoption of automation while addressing concerns related to workforce transitions. So I encourage each of you to actively participate, ask questions, and contribute to this important conversation. Thank you all, and I look forward to our discussions today. Thank you.
Thank you, Philip. Now, we would like to invite our first presenter from KUKA, Kirill Safronov, head of technology research. The floor is yours.
Can you see my presentation?
Yes.
Yes. Also welcome from my side. So yes, my name is Kirill Safronov. I'm from Technology and Innovation Center at KUKA. KUKA is a manufacturer of robots and robotic solutions. And in our department, in Technology and Innovation Center, we are working on novel technologies, which we would like to integrate into our applications, into our products, to increase the automation in the manufacturing. So yeah, in my short talk, I will give you some information about robotics trends, so novel technologies and how we can use these technologies for to develop the manufacturing sector in Europe. Let's start with statistics first. So International Federation of Robotics published these statistics, the annual robots installations worldwide. So you see the number of installations grows. There was one problem in 2019. We have pandemic, but since that, the growth continued. But 2024 will be a challenging year. So we have a very weak growth forecast for Germany and Europe. So in Europe, it will be 0.8%. And in Germany, it's 0.2%. So we will have a challenging year in this case. How we can tackle this problem? So we think that we have to recognize the robotic trends and try to use them in our development. According to the same Federation of Robotics, so International Federation of Robotics, we have 5 trends. We have AI and machine learning, cobots in new applications, mobile manipulators, digital twin, and humanoids. So some of these trends are not new, but recently we've done quite a lot in these areas. So I will present these trends in more details. In manufacturing, in automation, we have several applications which are quite standard, let's say, but we don't have a final solution for this application, which is feasible in every case. So like bin picking application, when we have to grasp an object to recognize the object. But recent AI and machine learning technologies can help to increase the performance of these applications, enhance these applications. For example, AI-based perception, which can speed up the process of object detection, or AI-based grasping, which can also increase the probability of successful grasps. Predictive maintenance is quite important to save downtime costs in manufacturing. So all these technologies, they can just enhance the existing applications. There is also another group of technologies which change the automation paradigm, like easy to use concept like learning from demonstration, for example, or generative AI. I would name task-based programming or copilots. In this case, we don't need robot experts anymore, and a normal user can use the natural language to control and to program the robot. So in general, it speeds up the commission line time. As I said, cobots still quite trending a direction. And we are not talking about cobots like robots which cannot hurt the human, but also like cobots which can help and support the human workers. They're quite flexible. There are still some challenges like speed limitations or payload constraints. One of the challenging tasks is to program the robot for changing environment, not to teach the robot to go from one frame to another frame, but also if environment changes, to adapt to these changes. And the recent technologies like AI can help in this case. We're talking about the learning from demonstration, when the human imitates or presents, demonstrates some process using hand guiding, like in these pictures, and the robot can learn the trajectory. Then if environment changes, you can see on the pictures down on the right bottom, if the goal changes, so we don't have to reprogram the robot, we can just, so the robot can adapt to these changes. And it helps also to speed up the process of set up the cell. So, and also reduce the barrier to enter for using robots in small and medium-sized enterprises. So to repeat again, so we don't have we don't need a good robot expert in this case. We need just a, let's say, powerful user. Mobile manipulators can bring a lot for automation, for warehouses and factories. They can reduce costs, so we need less fixed workstations. They're quite flexible, using a lot of different sensors, like vision sensors and ultrasound and so on. They can also support human. But we have some challenges, like, for example, safety. So the mobile robots not so fast. So, and if we increase the speed, we have to think about the enhanced safety for human-robot collaboration. Another emerging markets in the mobile manipulators is outdoor robotics. And here we have a lot of challenges. The big challenge is environmental condition. For example, outside, we have different light, we have sunlight, we have some shadows and so on. So temperature changes, humidity, unstructured, unknown environment, so it's dynamic. So if we can solve these challenges, it will be very good also for automation in general. The use of digital twin as the fourth trend has a tremendous potential. So to speed up the process of set up the robot cell, we don't need any physical interaction anymore, so we can do everything in simulation. We can do fast commissioning. We can easily validate some processes in simulation. We can also check for errors. We can evaluate the time of processing. If we recognize the error, it will be not so critical if it's in simulation. And in general, it's easy to use. And using some devices like a tablet or the virtual reality glasses, we can generate some mixed reality where the robot operator can see, for example, the safety walls or safety environment that can interact with this simulated environment and set up the system. We still have some challenges that we have to solve. So sim-to-real gap. So the CAD models of the cell normally are not accurate enough. There is always some displacement, some deviation. And using sensors and AI, we can compensate these problems. Also, the problem of uncertainty. The fifth trend is humanoids robots. Right now, it's a very fast developing area. We think right now we have not enough technologies to use it for automation in factories, for example. We would like to concentrate on more important things like mobile manipulation, but maybe not with legs, with the robot with legs, but robots based on mobile platforms, like what you can see on the pictures. In this case, robot can help human to carry out some heavy tasks, like carry some heavy objects. So manipulate big objects, big, long, and also heavy objects, and so on. So the humanoid robots or dual arm manipulators in this case can help the human. Also, we have to think about the economic feasibility. So the humanoid robots are not so cheap, so they're quite expensive. If you think about the dual arm, it's already 2 robot manipulators plus vision system. If I have a mobile platform, it's also not so cheap. And also another problem is complex programming, how we can program these robots. All these trends were important in robotics. In general, AI is very important also to develop the AI to increase the automation in the factories. But AI has also different weaknesses, like we need computing power. The results are not 100% reliable. So also the quality of the results depend from the size of the training data set and its quality. So anyway, we need to control this. And in robotics world, we can solve this problem if we because we have the commissioning engineers, and the commissioning engineers can help to control the AI system. If we use the easy to use technology, the commissioning engineers should not be very should not be like an experts, very good experts. They can be just the user that can use this technology. So we try to reduce this barrier using the technology, the easy to use technology. Yes, so I presented shortly these 5 robotics trends, and as an example.
We cannot hear, we cannot see the
Sorry, I didn't. Sorry, I didn't show you. So sorry.
It will be shared in any case in the end, but
yes. So digital twin. Sorry, I didn't show you so shortly about the digital twin. So you see on these pictures the mixed reality, the simulation environment, what I was talking about, the tablet, and so on. So humanoid robots. Some examples of research projects. So it's Smart Handle European project. It's about the dual arm, and another project. It's a German project where the robot was helping to carry heavy objects with a human together. And weaknesses of AI, I already told you about it. Sorry for this again. Yes, shortly about these 5 robotics trends. So KUKA wants to concentrate on these robotic trends, tries to develop what is important, and we hope that all these trends can help to increase the automation in the manufacturing. Yes, thanks. That's all from my side.
Thank you, Kirill, very much for your presentation about the automation trends. And now I would like to invite our second presenter from Fagor Automation, Javier Arenas, Director of the Technological Research Center. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I hope you can hear me well. I will start my presentation. Okay. Thank you very much. My name is Javier Arenas. I am the Director of the Technological Research Center of Fagor Automation. Thank you very much for the opportunity of being in this discussion about how the European companies can harness the power of industrial automation. I will start with a very short introduction of Fagor Automation. As you may know, Fagor Automation is an Spanish company with more than 40 years with experience and we provide a global solution in automation for the machine tool builders. Okay, we have 3 different business. One of them is the feedback systems, we design and manufacture linear angular scales mainly for machine tools, but for many others applications too. Another important business for us is the CNC systems. We provide a full package for automate the machine. We design the CNC, as I will mention later. The drives, the electrical motors, all the package needed for the machine tool builder. And we have another business, we call it service, where we provide a digital solution and many other services related with technical assistance. As a component provider, we have the advantage that we have many different clients, with many different needs, requirements, and we have presence in many different sectors, aeronautics to energy, additive manufacturing, semiconductors, and also we have skills that have been used in large scientific facilities. So in my opinion, we have a very wide point of view about how is the automation in the world and specifically in Europe. So I will start with, I will try to explain to you 3 key strategies that I see that it's very important for the companies to leverage the benefits of industrial automation. I will be short, but there are 3 key aspects that is very relevant. But for a start, perhaps the first question is why automation? And here we have 3 rules that are we have to take into account, and every company should agree and should follow. The first one is that the first automated will always win through. We have learned this throughout the last years. Competition drives innovation, and innovation normally is made by automation, and market never remains stable for long. That's something that in this period of time we know better than ever before, with competitors for USA, for China, with others with the same technology than us, and we see how the market changes almost every day. So with this scenario, there are one first remark I would like to make, that is for the success of an automation project, the first thing is to have a roadmap. Okay, perhaps it seems obvious, but a lot of companies lack of it, and it's very important to have a strategy about the overall automation project. And it's not the companies shouldn't automate for the sake of automation. They should identify their process, prioritize them, and see where automation can help them. Is key for the success of the automation. It's better to start small, start perhaps as early as possible, but with a very clear roadmap with the future. And another key aspect is that the companies need to stay nimble. Okay, the continuous innovation is important. Is key for a continuous success on the future of the company. Another key challenge, another key strategy is building collaborative ecosystems. That's another thing that perhaps previous decades the companies doesn't need them, but now evolution, new technologies, new ways of automation. Normally, usually the companies have a process with a lot of knowledge on it, very cost-effective solutions. But now the new trends of automations involves many other technologies that, for more of them, they are non-core technologies. They need the help of universities, technological center, because otherwise it would be almost impossible for the companies to adopt all these kind of technologies. Absolutely, I am sure everybody agrees that this kind of collaboration increase the pace of innovation. And as I have said before, it's important to start small, start with a practical project to test. Building a collaborative ecosystem is not just like a change of provider. It's more about understand the needs, the requirements, even the market of the company, and that takes time. So from the perspective of a technological research center, we ask the companies to start with a small project with time, but start with a long-term vision. And another key strategy that is quite relevant nowadays is customization. Okay, perhaps having a business based in a cost-effective solution, it's seen as it doesn't match with a customized business. But nowadays it's a must. It's just having a lot of one product will be what I mean. The companies needs to adapt these products to have a flexibility in the technology, because they need to have a competitive advantage with the products in the market. specific adaptation to the client, to the needs of the client is key, and also have robustness, connectivity, flexibility that gives the automation. So perhaps these two concepts, where automation and customization, so far has been like a oxymoron, but now is something that had to be linked and together in every automation project. This was the strategies, not the challenges. Well, there are many challenges. I will remark 3 of them here. Where is the one of them is the fear of change. That is a truth that we have to recognize. Companies in general don't want to change the processes. They don't want to change the technology. They have a strong knowledge on the actual process. So that is something that we have to deal with. Another one is the high upfront cost, perhaps not as high as the companies may think in the first moment, but there is a version that is needed. But perhaps here the initiative from the European Commission can help companies to adapt the new technologies, the new trends of automation. And another one is, I have said before, the complexity and technical expertise that the new trends of automation needs. Okay, and here is where building a strong ecosystem with universities and technical center of technological partners will be very important for the companies. And another the challenge that will deserve another specific webinar is talent. Okay, training and upskilling employees will be key in the future. It's not about just automate the process. The real challenge here is to integrate the human element into automation. We don't want just to remove jobs. We want to enhance that human and that automation in our process. No? It's mandatory to change the organization culture of enterprises. And just to finish, I run out of time. Just a success case in our case is HMI Elite. It's a new HMI. I don't have time here, so I don't have time here to explain it, but it's a short video how we have changed the way we use an HMI. We have used technology, web-based technology. We have bring the technology of the smartphones or something like that to the HMI. We haven't done that alone. We have done with the cooperation of universities and technical and research centers. So for me, it's a quite a good example of how we can customize a solution. We have provided with the latest technologies a product that is very well received by the market. And just as a conclusion, three final remarks. One, customization and flexibility. We have to adapt to the market and its customer. Industry 5.0, what I said, the human factor is a cornerstone of the automation, and we need the continuous innovation. We have to persistent improvement of processes and products. And that's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Javier, for outlining key strategies of successful implementation of automation. And now I would like to invite our third presenter, Francois Duval, who is SESMO President and also Managing Director at GF Machining Solutions.
All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to participate to this webinar. Can you see my screen here?
Yes.
And do you still see it? All right.
Yes, we can.
So before we talk about harnessing the power of
Francois, As far
Yeah.
now we see not full screen. You have to put full screen.
All right, full screen. Let me check. Yup. Do you
Yes,
see it full screen?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, so before we talk about understanding, let me introduce what we do at GF that will illustrate our approach to industrial automation. Like many players on this market, we have a portfolio of equipment from I would say our design or integrating 6-axis standard on-the-shelf robots, and being pallet handling or part handling or hybrid, including also the AMRs, which are developing quite well at the moment. Those equipments are designed to be scalable. For example, a customer may start with the automation of one machine, and then he will add a second machine, and at the end extend it to the full production line of a part. The ultimate goal being to have a full production line, fully automated, as we do for the dies and mold industry or for the aerospace industry in particular. But this is mainly hardware. Hardware goes along with software. So if you want to provide, I would say, automation, it's pretty obvious that you need to put in place also what we call the workshop manager in our portfolio, which enables to prepare the job, to execute the jobs with many options, and particularly also to monitor the jobs with our work center and cell manager software suite. But let me come back to the basics. I would say automation is about, of course, maximizing the uptime of a machine. So the advantage of automation is pretty obvious, is that you have a production time available 24/7. And very often at the customer premises, we see that the schedule time is much lower, and sometimes is also excluded. And then you have to optimize your process by reducing the availability loss, the performance losses, and the quality losses, and make the first part right. And all those production losses, which are deducted from the planned production time. One way to measure it is the overall equipment effectiveness. The OEE is what remains, and that's as my customers say, usually, I'm making money when my spindle is cutting, and the rest of the time is purely lost. So we try to act on those two main red circles. One is through automation to increase the planned production time, and to also monitor, identify, and address all the production losses. And this OEE monitoring makes the losses measurable. It makes it easier to find the equipment process weaknesses and the bottlenecks, and it fairly attributes the responsibility and where is my unproductivity laying. So it enables, of course, to perform corrective action, increase productivity, and produce smarter and greener. What are the consequences for our workforce? We are the OEMs. On our side, it has an influence on our sales and application team. They move from equipment sale to solution sale. They have to make flow simulation, to have an open discussion about the cost, the benefits, and the return on investment for our customers. So typically, that's really a value selling approach. We need also to train our service engineers and application engineers, not only on the equipment, but also on software. And if your promise is to increase the production time, then you have to move for 24/7 online support as well. It comes along with our suite of software called Maya Connect, which enables us to support the customer with the follow the sun rule 24/7. On the end user side, the machine operators are moving slowly to production line supervisors. The big benefit for some tasks is that the MSDs, the musculoskeletal disorders, are limited, particularly what is linked to part handling. And they are focused on analyzing the bottlenecks and optimizing the process. So it requires, again, training for operators, but also for maintenance engineers on the equipment and software. And again, if you run 24/7, you may not have people sitting in front of the line. So live data information brought, in our case, through Messenger, enables the customer, even from home, or wherever he is, to have defaults and alerts about what's happening on his line, and he can also trigger a service intervention from where he is. So I've talked a lot about education. We have created the GF Academy, which brings a portfolio of trainings for operators, for maintenance people, for application engineers, and also on the field consulting services. We do believe that the training of all the stakeholders is crucial. This is a revolution. But we don't believe that this is only a matter of skills. And as you can see, our 70-20-10 model is applied at the GF Academy. 10% of the time is purely formal training. But then after, it's social and mainly experimental on the field. I learned by doing is our role. And as I said, it's not only a matter of knowledge and skills, but also of behavior and attitude. So to come to the point, what are the obstacles that prevent adoption and what EU can do? I try to summarize it in this slide. I mean, there is a challenge on the human resources. It's hard to find automation engineers, so we have to promote academic and vocational training to bring more workforce on the market, because the needs there are tremendous. But I think that the main challenge of our customers when listening to them is how do I upskill my existing operators and my maintenance teams? And here, this is an investment which is on top of the capital expenditure quite high for our customers. That I think that funds for upskilling of the existing workforce would really be beneficial to our customers. Then there is also the question of reallocation of tasks for the lowest qualified people. There is very often a basic idea on the market that robots are killing jobs. I can tell you from experience that I've never seen companies that were laying off people because they were moving to automation. They have to relocate the task, but the most successful are the ones which are maximizing their production time for obvious return on investment questions. Then comes also the problem of finance, which was already raised by Javier. It's a higher capital expenditure upfront, and there I think that we should really communicate and educate the banks or the leasing companies, etc. That although the leasing cost will be higher, the profitability will also grow significantly, and which is not an issue. But today I see a lot of cases where the customer having they have difficulty to raise the necessary funds, not only to buy the machine, but to buy the automation which goes together, because it increased the envelopes, and their level of indebtedness or debt is already too high, or considered as too high, and that's really a difficulty for them. There is also a problem of lack of visibility on the workload or the backlog of orders, and I think that the responsibility lays in the major contractors. It's pretty obvious that a company who has visibility on his next 6 months, 1 year, 3 years, or 5 years workload will be able to raise the necessary funds, whereas when they live with a low backlog and no visibility on the future, they are quite reluctant to invest. So there, the major contractors should really be mindful that they play a big role in helping their subcontractors to grow and to adopt automation, and it will be beneficial to them because they will be more competitive and more efficient. We have also to fight against preconceived ideas. That's very often heard on the market. Automation is applicable only for mass production. No, I disagree. I mean, we have many success stories for companies which are producing very few parts and very diverse production, and automation has brought all the benefits that I mentioned earlier. Automation kills job. I already mentioned that. Again, success stories show that the ones which are moving to automation are the most successful on the market. Programming is too complex for me and for my team. I mean, it was already mentioned by Kirill and Javier, shown by Javier. We have solutions to make it much easier than in the past in terms of programming, and the HMIs now are very, very user friendly, and thanks to AI and machine learning, we can also facilitate the life of our customers. So, I mean, to sum it up, I think that we have to work on 3 fronts. One is on the HR side, to develop academic and vocational training and support by funding the upskilling of the existing workforce. We have also to educate banks and major contractors on the key role they have to play in helping the industrial world to be more competitive. We need their support, and that's not a risk to invest more because you have a plan for automation. And success stories, communication about preconceived ideas that we must fight against. So that's my conclusion. I think I have no other slide to show. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Francois, for highlighting the importance of workforce and also some preconceived ideas about automation. And lastly, let's move to our last speaker. I would like to invite now Yves Padavene, the senior expert from DG Connect at the European Commission.
Very good morning, everyone. Many thanks for the invitation. I would like to be now very light touch on a number of topics in typically how the European Commission now is looking into the future of the power of industrial automation or even the industry. We have 2 million companies in Europe which are active in manufacturing. You have probably heard of the report of Agricoleta on how Europe should become much more competitive with a number of priorities that have been outlined in terms of innovation, as well as in terms of the capital market in order to make sure that the finance. So that would probably be also one of the ways to be explored. Obviously, here I will touch upon more on how we can build together such a collaborative environment, as Javier mentioned, which is really a combination of your individual excellence as a machine manufacturer. Maybe one word of where we stand in the Commission is our unit has now become part of the European AI Office, so that has seen the light 16th of June, so this is very recent, and we have become such a center of AI expertise in the Commission. I'm myself part of the unit which is dealing with AI innovation and policy coordination. So that's really one of the important steps that we have seen. Now, if we look at the regulatory environment, you all know that the Commission has launched several regulations, obviously with all good intention, with the idea of really getting higher levels of safety, of security, the better opportunities for the use of data, creating level playing fields, and so on. So you see, we have a number of those, and I can understand that if they would be taken one by one, that would be much easier. And this is, in fact, the multiplicity of those regulatory environments that is, in fact, making it a bit difficult to really absorb at once. And I'm not a lawyer myself, and that's why also from our end, from the unit from which I am, what we have tried to put together is a number of initiatives to support making more of the regulation. Two parts maybe where I would want to attach a bit of time. One is related to the Data Act. The Data Act, as you know, is part of the European data strategy to create a single market of data and how industry can be propelled into a data-driven economy with data-driven business models. And that's really the key point here. The Data Act will become applicable in September 25, which means that from now on, I sense that it's rather a year of the lawyers. It's really a year of compliance. Now, we would have to think how we can really shortcut that period and already see which kind of opportunities are being opened by the Data Act. And these are part of the discussion I have had with some of you, is really how we can shorten the period of compliance, that period of FUD, of fears, uncertainty, doubts related to it, and really make the best out of it. In a collaborative environment. The other part is about the AI Act. the AI Act is really introducing different notion of risk, and with the risk, a number of mitigation measures. It has been modeled after the product safety legislation. So maybe here, what is worthwhile to look into is that it would gradually come into application, really looking at what is prohibited in terms of in terms of the use of AI, and then more and more developing the framework around the AI Act. But to accompany it, it will come also with what is called the AI Pact, which is really a voluntary framework that is really there to see how we can have an understanding of what works, what doesn't work, what needs to be documented, how we can get the reassurance that the AI that is being deployed in a number of products, in a number of machines, would actually work properly and fulfill the different objectives that have been proposed by the AI Act. So you see, it comes with a number of measures to accompany as well. Now, if we look into the different fostering of innovation, it's a bit too early to discuss about the Framework Program 10, FP10, that should be the successor to Horizon Europe. As I said before, there are signs that industry and competitiveness will be more on the forefront than earlier. We have had a later report, likely the Draghi report will also confirm this. As you might know, there is currently a group which is led by HITOR, which is thinking in terms of what should be the objective of FP10 and what kind of architecture. HITOR is also a person who is conscious of the need to work with industry. So that's something also which is really very good in this framework. It has a number of high-level people such as Maria Chiara Carrozza or from PISA. She's a researcher in robotics. Now she's back in PISA in bioengineering after having been a minister for research. It's also composed of Antti Vasara, who is the head of VTT, which is the research institute in Finland. And they are really conscious of the industrial challenges. HITOR will probably bring also his own touch on trying to strike a balance for skills, even though skills is not really a competence of the European Union. So we have here a number of people who are willing to look into how and what will be the architecture of FP10. But we have to think, and here I include myself and the broader community, on how Europe can become a high-tech continent. You have probably seen a number of reports showing some of the importance of the automotive sector for Europe, but at the same time creating also a mid-tech trap. And there was a recent report of Jean Tirole, who is a Nobel Prize winner of economy. And here, if we look into what kind of high-tech, what kind of breakthrough innovation we could have, that brings me to the role of generative AI. And typically, you see that there is a number of gain that could be done through the use of generative AI, large language model, foundation models. In generative AI, we actually include also much more the advanced AI techniques. And if you think today, it's mostly US companies who, by scavenging, scraping data that were open on the internet, have been able to build these large language models. But we have a treasure in Europe. We have a very strong manufacturing sector. And here there might be a need to think of how we can have a much better understanding of how generative AI apply to manufacturing, that is, with other modalities than simply text, voice, speech, images. So really thinking into how the sound, the vibration, the power cycles, the spin would also form part of the model, and how we could give European industry here a competitive advantage with the building of large language model in Europe. So that's one of the things, and in order to go in that direction, we have proposed an AI innovation package, which is worth 4 billion euro altogether from 2024 to 2027. We work with a number of partnerships, the Made in Europe partnership, so the one supported by the European Factories of the Future Association, as well as the one on AI, data, and robotics, ADRA. So you see here, I will not outline each one of those, but you can see that it's a race in which we want to be. We are really at the beginning of the curve when we think in terms of the manufacturing sector. So this is now the moment to start to really experiment and to challenge your teams really to solve one irritant with AI, for example. So really, the benefit of it will also be that your teams will start acquiring expertise. Very quickly, we said the manufacturing sector will more and more move into a data-driven economy. That is very true. We are trying to accompany that movement by having a number of data spaces, of which the manufacturing data spaces, and here I have put a number of those. That is, I can come back later to it, but that's really how the data could be exchanged across supply chain, across asset management, condition monitoring.
Sorry, can you?
Yes.
We have 1 minute left. Can
Very,
you?
very
Yes.
good.
Thank
Okay.
you.
I'll quickly go to I will skip this one that comes to the opportunities and challenges of manufacturing as a service, but that is even more future-proof, and we have a foresight project to look into this. That resonates a lot with the change of CapEx to OpEx and the front loading of investment that François mentioned before. And one of the things I would like to draw your attention here is we have created a network of European Digital Innovation Hub. They are everywhere in Europe. They help companies to make the digital journey. As a machine manufacturer, make yourself known of the eddies. They can help, in fact, to really have manufacturing companies do the best with your equipment. They are really there to support the local ecosystem. I was in Hannover Messe with a number of eddies, and we have seen how this has really resonated with the audience. They are also there somehow to help on the reskilling and upskilling part. And with this, I will close my presentation. Many thanks for your patience.
Thank you, Yves. Thank you very much for outlining the regulatory environment for automation and also highlighting the growing importance of European digital innovation hubs. And now that all speakers have completed their presentations, it's time for the Q&A session. If any attendees have questions, please write them in the chat and specify also the person to whom you are addressing the question. And while we'll be waiting for questions, I would like to start by addressing a few questions myself. So since we do not have much time, I would like to pose a question, a general one first, for three industrial representatives. What are specific actions or policies do you expect from the EU to support the automation and digitization of manufacturing industries? Yes, so perhaps we can start from Kirill first.
It's from EU. It's a good question. Yes, I think, of course, what was already mentioned, this AI Act. So we have to understand it in details, and then we have to understand how can we use it. So right now, I think it's still for us not, so we don't have enough details, so we have to think about it. So maybe from EU, maybe some, I don't know, some events to clarify for the companies, how can they apply it in the work? Yes.
Thank you, Kirill. Javier, can you please provide?
Yes, well, I agree with Kirill. Now there are a lot of many different technologies that will be applied in European companies. Or perhaps is it needed by the European Commission to have a program that helps companies to integrate that new technologies to build that collaborative ecosystems and help SMEs overall to give that that cost that is needed for automation of their projects.
Thank you, Javier. Francois?
Yeah, thank you. I mean, as I stated in my conclusion, I mean, we must fight against a certain number of preconceived ideas and help, as Javier stated, the SMEs to adopt it. So this goes with, I think that EU could take some initiative on the development of new, I would say, academic or vocational trainings that the universities or the schools and the companies need funds to I would say upskill their existing workforce and encourage the young generation to go for this kind of career. And the second point, maybe manufacturing as a service is a solution, but I think that in terms of interest rates, for example, when the company wants to invest in automation, there should be incentivized, or at least there should be I would say a reading of the project that is favorable to automation. Should we include automation into the taxonomy and give in some extent a premium to automation that makes it easier for company to invest in automated solution. There are different ways to encourage it, but if we want really to make Europe one of the high-tech continents, of course, AI and things like that needs to be further encouraged and developed. but the main obstacles today are human resources and finance. I'm sorry to be very practical, but today that's what I meet on the market. Companies who are willing to, but cannot invest because they are limited in the capital expenditure, or they fear to have a gap between the existing skills and what is required with automated solution. So we should, I think, address that.
Thank you, Francois. That was very clear. With human workforce with the required skill set now is priority. And my second question would be to Yves. So you mentioned the newly established European AI Office. How does the European AI Office support the AI-driven automation and digital solutions? And what role does the manufacturing sector play in this framework?
Many thanks. Yes, so the whole purpose of the AI Office is there to really make sure that we have a proper implementation of the AI Act. That's from the regulatory point of view, and accompanying it with a number of initiatives. We have this pact, the AI Pact, which is one of the way, so from a voluntary, before it would enter into force, how the things can be tested. We are also having a number of AI regulatory sandboxes and testing and experimentation facilities. The testing and experimentation facilities are really large-scale, real-world facilities where to test AI innovation. In particular, there is one which is called AI Matters, which is led by the CEA in France, where really with that equipment you can come, you are an AI supplier, you can test your solution, you can see how it behaves. But if you are also a client, you can see, okay, does that correspond to my need? Is it really doing what it's supposed to do? So these are the things that we are really accompanying on that front. And then from the innovation part, we have a number of programs, such as the Digital Europe program, or we have the Research and Innovation program, Horizon Europe, where we have launched this 4 billion package of investment. The way to see it is really, I have a good idea. It corresponds to one part of the goal, and we are, manufacturing is recognized as one of the critical sectors for research and innovation and for deployment of AI. And therefore, we are here. You do the things that matters for you, and you have to see it not as just sending money, but really as helping you to de-risk the investment that you put into deploying AI in your environment.
All right, thank you, Yves. Thank you very much for your answer. All right, I do not see any questions in the chat. All right, and as we have run out of time, we will conclude today's webinar. We've heard a lot from speakers about the impact of automation, the challenges that lie ahead, and also the strategies for overcoming them. We saw also how automation is operated within manufacturing industries, its main benefits. The key takeaways also include the emerging trends in automation applications such as cobots, manipulators, digital twin, etc. We also saw strategies on how to successfully implement automation solutions in companies. We also saw that we need to continuously innovate in order to stay ahead, invest in small projects, but with long-term strategy, and of course also invest a lot in upskilling and training of the workforce, one of the biggest challenges that manufacturing industries face today. And of course, we also saw the regulatory environment the importance of Data Act and AI Act that will support the further adoption of automation solutions in the companies, and as well the role of generative AI in manufacturing, and the AI innovation package, of course. So that would be all. We will share the recording of the webinar as well as the PowerPoint presentations with you. We will inform you by email. And that would be all from our side. Thank you very much for the attendees for attending this webinar, as well as for our speakers to share their expertise today. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Have a good day.
Much.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Have a good
Thank you
day.
very
Bye-bye.
much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.